Welcome back to the Motivation Podcast. I'm your host, Susan, and today we're delving into a topic that's of immense importance to almost all of us: motivation in the workplace. Joining us today is Larry Donovan, a well-known motivational coach who'll help us dissect this crucial topic. Welcome, Larry.
Hi, Susan. It's great to be back on your podcast. I'm looking forward to discussing how we can boost motivation in the workplace.
We're glad to have you, Larry. Let's jump right in. Could you share with us why motivation is so critical in the workplace?
Absolutely, Susan. Motivation in the workplace is a vital factor because it directly impacts productivity. When employees are motivated, they're more likely to put their best effort into their tasks, leading to higher quality work and greater output. Moreover, a motivated workforce is more engaged, leading to better teamwork and reduced staff turnover.
That's a solid point, Larry. Motivation definitely plays a significant role in productivity and team dynamics. Could you tell us a little about the different sources of motivation in the workplace?
Certainly, Susan. Broadly speaking, we can categorize motivation into two types: intrinsic and extrinsic. Intrinsic motivation comes from within. It's when an employee finds the task itself rewarding, whether because it's interesting, satisfying, or challenging. They're driven by internal factors like personal growth, a sense of accomplishment, or the satisfaction of solving a complex problem. Extrinsic motivation, on the other hand, comes from external factors. This might be a tangible reward like a bonus, promotion, or better office, or it could be intangible, like recognition from colleagues or positive feedback from a manager. Both intrinsic and extrinsic motivation play crucial roles in the workplace.
That's a great breakdown of the sources of motivation, Larry. So, a balance of intrinsic and extrinsic motivation could ideally keep an employee engaged and productive. Now, from an organization's perspective, what steps can they take to foster both these types of motivation among their employees?
That's a great question, Susan. From an organization's perspective, fostering intrinsic motivation can be a bit more complex because it deals with individual employees' internal drives. However, creating an environment that encourages learning, growth, and autonomy can help. For instance, providing challenging and meaningful work, offering opportunities for advancement, and creating a culture of respect and autonomy can enhance intrinsic motivation. On the other hand, extrinsic motivation can be fostered by implementing a fair and transparent reward system. Regular recognition of employees' achievements, whether it be through monetary rewards, promotions, or public acknowledgement, can significantly boost morale and motivation.
These are indeed valuable insights, Larry. I believe our listeners, especially those who are managers or team leads, will find them particularly helpful. Now, while it's important for organizations to foster motivation, employees themselves have a role to play as well. What can individuals do to stay motivated at work?
Absolutely, Susan. While it's crucial for organizations to create environments that foster motivation, individuals also need to take ownership of their own motivation. Firstly, aligning personal goals with organizational goals can help. When employees see how their work contributes to the bigger picture, it gives them a sense of purpose and boosts motivation. Secondly, embracing challenges and viewing them as opportunities for growth can maintain high levels of intrinsic motivation. Employees should not shy away from complex tasks, but rather see them as chances to learn and develop new skills. Lastly, practicing self-care and maintaining work-life balance is crucial. It's important to avoid burnout as it can severely affect motivation. So, finding time for relaxation and hobbies outside of work is equally important.
Excellent advice, Larry. Motivation, indeed, is a two-way street. Both employers and employees play crucial roles in maintaining it.
That's right, Susan. And another important aspect to remember is the role of communication in fostering workplace motivation. Regular, open dialogue between managers and employees can go a long way in maintaining and even enhancing motivation. By communicating expectations clearly, providing constructive feedback, and giving employees a voice, managers can help create an environment that supports motivation. Similarly, employees should feel comfortable sharing their ideas, concerns, and aspirations.
Absolutely, Larry. Communication, indeed, plays a pivotal role. It not only helps in clarifying expectations, but also makes employees feel valued and heard, which can significantly boost their motivation. Now, before we wrap up this episode, Larry, could you share some common motivation pitfalls at the workplace and how to avoid them?
Sure, Susan. One of the most common motivation pitfalls is the lack of recognition. When employees feel their hard work and efforts are unnoticed or unappreciated, it can greatly dampen their motivation. So, it's crucial for managers to regularly acknowledge and appreciate their team's efforts. Another common pitfall is the lack of growth opportunities. If employees feel stagnant in their roles with no room for advancement, it can lead to a decline in motivation. Organizations should strive to provide continuous learning opportunities and clear paths for advancement. Lastly, an imbalanced workload can be a significant demotivator. Overworking employees can lead to burnout, while underworking can lead to boredom and disengagement. It's essential to assign workloads fairly and reasonably, and to maintain open communication to ensure that employees feel comfortable discussing workload issues.
These are some great insights, Larry. Avoiding these pitfalls can certainly help maintain high motivation levels in the workplace. Thank you so much for sharing your expertise with us today. It was a pleasure having you on the podcast.
It was my pleasure, Susan. Thanks for having me. Remember, motivation is an ongoing process. It requires constant nurturing from both organizations and individuals. Let's all strive to create workplaces where everyone feels motivated, appreciated, and ready to give their best.
Well said, Larry. And thank you to all our listeners for joining us today on the Motivation Podcast. We hope you found our discussion on motivation in the workplace insightful and useful. Don't forget to join us next time as we continue to delve into the fascinating world of motivation. Remember, you have the power to make a difference in your life and the lives of those around you. Stay motivated. This is Susan signing off from the Motivation Podcast. See you next time.